Hey everyone, this is Zach from ChargeLab, and I'm back on the floor here at CES 2025 with Michael Bakunin from Epic Charging. As you all know, ChargeLab is in the business of building software for managing EV charging stations. And we use an open protocol in this industry called OCPP that basically allows us to connect our software to a whole range of different EV chargers, many of which we're seeing around the floor at CES today. What's interesting about Epic Charging is Michael and his company, they actually do the same thing. And so Epic Charging is also in the business of network management for EV chargers, or what we might call CSMS, Charging Station Management System. And so traditionally, ChargeLab and Epic Charging would be considered competitors, but some interesting things have happened in our industry in the past couple of months, in particular with legacy players shutting down and pulling out of the market. And we've taken this as an opportunity at ChargeLab and Epic Charging to start working a little bit more closely together. So I would just love to get your perspective on that, Michael, on kind of what's happening in the industry and how, in some cases we do compete, but how we can also support each other as this whole industry is starting to grow.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And Zach, you rightly said the legacy players, the ones that left the market, and we probably know who we are talking about, Enel X. So they left lots of chargers abandoned in the market, so that are not open protocol. And typically we would be competitors, right? So we're also a software solution. We're based in California. That's our home market, and it's probably our largest market so far. We offer solutions for home charging, fleet charging, public charging, but essentially what we've been doing recently, especially with the departure of Enel X from the market, we're literally rescuing or saving the chargers which were left or abandoned without any software solutions. And we're talking about probably more than 100,000 customers across the United States and Canada who were left with any support. And that actually forced us to work together with so-called competitors. And we use this word, but the reality is we can call each other frenemies or just friends, because through this work, when you actually go back and you figure out how to make the non-open protocol chargers work, we had to help each other, we had to partner with each other, and I really appreciate your openness and willingness to collaborate with Epic Charging, but also other industry players.
So I think ChargeLab and Epic Charging, we really got to know each other through the Enel X shutdown, but I actually think it's also important to touch on, this is just a small part of our business, right? Enel X happened to be a bunch of customers who had problems, and only our companies were really well situated to help them. But tell me, Michael, more about your kind of core business. How do you think about where your software is most needed in California and the rest of the US?
I think we're having really good success with school districts, universities, apartment buildings, and dealerships. So those are probably our largest customer groups. And we are open protocol, which means as of today, I think we support over 100 charger models on our platform. We have a physical lab in California where we bring all the hardware, we test it, we do interrupt testing with EVs as well. We help different charger manufacturers to improve their firmware and test it with us, especially when it's related to public payments. And probably California is probably the toughest market because we have all these CTAP requirements and all credit card reader requirements. So that has been a huge effort on our side recently. So we actually work a lot with charger manufacturers to support them. And then we go into the payment processing and all the, creative pricing models on the charging stations as well. So that's typically our core business.
So I also wanted to ask you, Michael, being here at CES 2025, you spent all of the morning walking around. What are your impressions of the presentations here around EVs, around EV charging, or just anything else you've seen that you think is indicative of what's to come in energy management, EV charger management in this year and in the years to come?
I'm expecting more innovation on the wireless charging, all types of robotic arms and all that stuff. And I know a bunch of companies trying to work on it. Essentially, I think everything needs to be robotized or simplified for end users, create a seamless experience. So if we're that far with autonomous drive, which is becoming once again, like regular thing in our life, like we need to think about how we can automate charging as well. So like all the processes and software layer is key because, you know, on the hardware side, it's the hardware, you're dispatching energy, that's good, electrons are moving. But how you know, connect all the dots in the ecosystem, I think that's our job.
Completely agree. Well, Michael, it was great to meet in person.
Absolutely.
Thank you for all your collaboration on everything, and I hope we can stay collaborators or frenemies.
Absolutely.
It's been great working with Epic Charging, and I hope we continue to work together. Enjoy the rest of CES, and thanks for sharing your thoughts here.
You as well. Real pleasure. Thank you, Zach.
Thanks, Michael.